Over the past 14 months, Florida voters have seen nonstop advertising in the presidential race.
But another race that's also the focus of many TV commercials you've seen is the state's battle for the U.S. Senate. Democrat Bill Nelson is hoping to win his third term in the Senate. His challenger is Republican Congressman Connie Mack, whose father held this same seat before Nelson. One of the latest polls taken by NBC and the Wall Street Journal gives Nelson a 9-point advantage. Kent Justice joins us once again. He's talked with both Mack and Nelson several times in recent months and joins us with a look at these two candidates. Kent?
Florida's two seats in the U.S. Senate, they're split right now. Republican Marco Rubio's got 2 more years to go in office. So will he be joined by a Republican teammate or see a Democrat return to Capitol Hill? Bill Nelson is the incumbent, Connie Mack the challenger, and they both know life in Washington, D.C., and they've both shown a willingness to level attacks at each other consistently in the past few months. Florida's largest newspaper calls Bill Nelson a centrist in the U.S. Senate and an advocate for NASA as it enters a new post-shuttle program era. Senator Nelson says he supports a balanced budget amendment, legal abortion, gay marriage, and increased regulations against greenhouse gases. Those views are the opposite of Nelson's challenger for the Senate, Connie Mack. Connie Mack has been a U.S. representative for 8 years, following time as a state rep in Florida. Mack told me he opposes raising taxes, wants to repeal the president's Affordable Health Care Act, and he demands a balanced budget that eliminates the national debt and wants that to happen sooner rather than later, even sooner than Republican vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan.
Floridians have an innate sense of who they can smell out, who is telling the truth.
This is another instance where Senator Nelson is being a hypocrite.
Following their only televised face-to-face debate last month, Bill Nelson and Connie Mack didn't stray far from the comments constantly smearing each other in the attack ads. Mack calls 70-year-old Senator Nelson a rubber stamp for the Democratic president, accusing Nelson's record of showing a lack of interest in the welfare of Floridians.
He continued the pattern of saying one thing to the people of the state of Florida, but he does something completely different in Washington, D.C. He said to the people of the state of Florida, it's unconscionable, those are his words, to whack away Medicare Advantage. But then he was the deciding vote for Obamacare. He did exactly what he said he shouldn't have done. I agree with him. It was unconscionable. He shouldn't have done it.
Ask him about his inconsistencies. Why is he saying this, and why does he say that when the fact checkers say that's not true? And the repetition just kept on.
Nelson believes his record points to working with Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill. Mack says his record is as conservative as they come, so you should know the difference between voting Nelson or voting Mack. Now, there are 2 no-party affiliation candidates also on the ballot. And polls show both Chris Borgia, an Iraqi war veteran from Fort Lauderdale, and Bill Gaylor, a Marine Corps veteran from Indian Harbor Beach. They draw voters who would otherwise vote for Connie Mack.